Rainbow is great bread. Say it's available at your local grocery store. All you have to do, go there to the counter, 2 or 3 rolls of it. Rainbow bread, great for sandwiches. And I know that my co-host today, I know that she's a great rainbow eater because she's so strong and dynamic and full of energy. One way that I know that helps her a lot is that great rainbow bread. How you doing, Miss Hunter?
Oh, I'm doing just great, Calvin. You know, I'm back from Hawaii where I was doing all of this hula hula dancing
Oh
and
no,
all
you
of
were
this kind
hula
of.
hula.
Oh, you know I was, Calvin, and I was going down there to that beach and getting into that ocean and getting me a suntan, and I was doing all of these kinds of things and
Well, Miss
shopping
Hunter,
and
I
shopping.
must compliment you on how beautiful you look. I love that
Do I
shirt. It's
have a good
bright.
suntan?
Well, I really can't tell about your
Come
tan
on.
because this show is live and in living color, but I don't know if we have enough color to talk about your suntan today. But you do look beautiful, and I must compliment you on going to Hawaii. What were you doing in Hawaii,
I was
may I
going
ask?
to see Hawaii, Calvin. I went out there. I wanted to go to see Hawaii just to see what it was like and what the people out there were doing. You know, I love traveling, and I like to find out what other people are doing other than right here in my own community. I want to go outside of the community and outside of the states so I can get a new philosophy and get new ideas and be enhanced by the relationships and the contacts that I make with people on the other side of the world. And you won't believe it, Calvin.
Well, Miss Hunter, I look forward to you telling me more about what happened in Hawaii. But this is the Clara Luper Radio Show, and we live here in color. We have 1 hour to go, and I know that you're not going to not let me hear more about what happened in Hawaii. Oh, I just love it when I can cut you off like that on there.
I just know you do, Calvin.
She gets so upset, but all of you out there, Miss Hunter and I get along real well. 2 peas in a pod. I've been missing you, and I really have missed you. I know that you had a great time, but then that while you were in Hawaii, Oklahoma City just was not the same. Oklahoma wasn't the same. It flooded.
That's
We
right.
had more rain
They tell
than
me
ever
that.
before. The wind was higher. Miss Hunter, next time you go, come by Fifth Street Baptist Church and let us know that you're going, so we can kind of send them some prayers and make sure that the weather be a little better. But back to Hawaii.
They told me that you had rain, storms, hailstorms, windstorms, thunderstorms. But it's amazing that we had sunshine and the beach was just great. I could go down on the beach and get out there in that
And your swimsuit was
water.
on it.
Oh, I was in my swimsuit, man. I was
Oh, I
in
love
style. I was in style in
In
that
style.
swimsuit, right?
What
But
did Mr. Hunter say? I know did he take a shotgun over there,
no, he always said, "I don't go out too deep," because he wanted to be sure that I came back.
Yes, indeed.
But it was tremendous, and the people that I met, Calvin, from over the United States, no, I'm going to say from over the world, because all of them were not from the United States. I met them just from England, from Austria, from Belgium, from, let's see, some was from Spain. And it was just amazing, the number of people that I had a chance to meet with. And each time, Calvin, when I would sit down and have a chat with someone that was from another town or another country other than the United States, I was always interested in education.
Education.
I don't know
That
why
never
that
will-
subject would just appear.
Well, that's
I
good,
can
Miss
add
Hunter,
on
because
the-
there are so many of us here in the Oklahoma area that have been influenced by your teaching and by your, the years that you spent in the school system. Your influence, I think, will be everlasting because of the fact that you were a good teacher. Those students that have been fortunate enough to be under you say now.
Well,
As far as I know, I think you were a good teacher too. But then I never did have an opportunity to take home economics. It just wasn't a macho thing to do. Even though now I get tears in my shirt, can't sew. I get a little hungry and I wish I could cook. So maybe I should have taken home economics in high school and had a chance to be under your influence and to learn a lot. But those students that you have taught, they've come a long way. They've done many a great thing, and I
And
know that you know that's part of your concern.
and Calvin, out there in Hawaii, it was surprising how many eating places that they had. And they were not run by women. They were run by men. So that should tell you something. The things that we have been snaring here in Oklahoma City or maybe in the United States, oh, that is an apron string job and that's for ladies. Then when you travel all over these United States and travel over the world, and you find out men are the ones that's out there doing the thing and making the money.
You're
Can you
absolutely
imagine
right.
coffee being $1 a cup? And you're going to drink at least
What's
three
in the,
cups a
what's
day.
in the cup of coffee? Do they have
Other
some
than-
special
other than
Hawaiian
that-
beans or something?
Other than that
You
sugar
know?
and cream.
Sugar and cream for $1 with coffee.
That's
Oh, my
right.
goodness.
And Calvin, not only the eating places were just out of sight. They were beautiful. They were attractive. The food was delicious. The food was attractive. And I just marveled. And each day that I was there, I said, I'm going to eat at a different place. I was there 7 days, and I ate each time at a different cafe. Now, that should give you an idea as to how many cafes were there. And I was walking, so they had to have been in walking distance.
Well, Miss
So
Hunter,
what I'm trying to say to Oklahoma City,
say it
and
to
say it
Oklahoma
to
City.
the
Tell
men.
us.
food is where the money is.
Food.
Food is where the money is. So enroll in those vocational home economics classes because those people are making a living and they're doing a tremendous job.
Well, Miss Hunter, you have a point there because of the fact, I know 2 or 3 young men, I can't say many more than that, who have really gotten off into the food, to the catering, to the cooking, and they're good. They learn their lessons well. And right now they sit back and relax when they get off. They get in their Cadillac, wipe the grease off, leave that there in the kitchen, and go back to their $40,000-$50,000 worth of whatever they want to do. And these young men are doing it great and they're doing it right. And home economics is a field. But right now, I'm off in electricity, and every time I think of electricity, I can't help but think of a great electrician. A young man that's been around this city for a while, doing a lot to make sure that you keep your lights on. Not counting OG&E now. He don't pay your light bill,
No,
but
he doesn't.
but he will make sure that your lights, that all of your receptacles, that any type of your electrical needs are taken care of. That's no other person than Bert Luper. Say, if you have any electrical needs, commercial, residential, there's a 24-hour call service too. All you have to do is call Bert Luper at 424-3785. Now remember that pen and pencil I told you to keep handy? Now's a good time for you to write this number down. 424-3785. That's Bert Luper for all your electrical needs. Say, even if you go to Hawaii, I think he can handle it over there too. I don't know how they run the electrical wires over there, but Bert Luper's a great electrician. Whatever way they doing it, it can be done. Bert Luper can do it. Say, promise you good work. If he doesn't satisfy you, if he doesn't make you happy, then give us a call back here on the Clara Luper Radio Show, live, living color, KBYE, your favorite station, your favorite show, with 2 of your most favorite people, the new Hawaiian travel and the regular Oklahoma City and me. We sitting back and we kicking. And call that friend, make sure that they be a part of today's show, because over in Hawaii, now not only did Miss Hunter, she's told us about the many different types of food that she ate, but I guarantee you, now just knowing Miss Hunter, I know that she bent some ears and made some people stop and listen and look. And then she also learned a lot probably about the educational things that are happening there in Hawaii. So if you're concerned about that, if you're concerned about the educational things that are happening here in our state, if you're concerned about how you can make some improvements, if you're concerned about how other states' programs may work then listen and make sure that you call a friend and call a neighbor and let them be a part of today's show. Miss Hunter, you just sitting over there, and we hog the mic. Oftentimes, I learned well.
But no,
So tell me a little more
I'm
about
just so
that.
happy, Calvin, to know that you are in school and you are taking, you said, electrician. You're going to become to be
Electricity
an electrician. So this is wonderful.
Hot popping watts.
But you know, Calvin, each time I come on, I know when Mrs. Luper Lee, she said, either Mrs. Hunter has gone and retired and gotten awful unlearned or something, because I always have a lot of questions I like to ask when I get on this program. I like for the public to answer these questions because really and truly these are things that concern me. I was in a home 1 or 2 nights ago, and that's right here in Oklahoma City, and they were talking about the word effective teaching or efficient teaching. Now, I don't quite remember which one of those words, because if they are saying that you must be an effective teacher if you're trying to produce results. And if you're an efficient teacher, you're directly producing. Now you get the difference between the two.
No, I'm
words.
still confused, Miss
Well,
Hunter.
That's
I'm a
fine.
student, and I've been a student. I constantly learn now the difference between my effective learning and my efficient learning. I don't know nothing about that. You got to come
But
clear to
don't
me
worry
with that.
about it, Calvin. You're as confused as I am, because that's my question.
Well, I should
Because
worry
I'm
about
wondering how, they say, well, we have to go to school. I said, go to school? What are they going to school for? It's, well, we have to go to school so we can learn to become effective teachers. I said, effective teachers. Now, here you have been to school, you graduated, and majority of them out there have 2 degrees, BS, and an MA or something like that.
The
MED
teachers
or
you're
something.
talking
I'm
about.
talking about the teachers.
The teachers
So
have to
I'm
go to
trying-
school?
They say they go to a training on one day out of the week. Now, it may not be on Saturday, but I think the persons that I heard, they said they were going on Saturdays because it was easy and convenient for them to go on Saturday, so that they can learn this process. But I know they have been talking about this process. But when they say, well, you got to go, sometimes, you make people go and you pay for them to go. And you say, well, it doesn't cost you anything and you're getting paid to go, why don't you go? But you can't make them use it. Now, what I'm concerned about, I really want to know, I want somebody to really clarify for me, what is effective teaching? I would like to have that question clarified. Because I'm wondering, when we say you've gone to these courses and you're an effective teacher, that doesn't mean that you're going to walk into the classrooms in the morning and you'll say, good morning, children, and you'll get your room all arranged, put the windows up and turn the lights on, and the children will come in and they will be real quiet, and they go to their seats and they open the book, and then they're going to sit down in their seats and listen to the teacher talk for 1 hour.
You asking me, Miss Hunter.
Well,
Now,
I'm
you
just
want
wanting
to
to
know what an effective and efficient teacher is?
Right.
I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you. I'm really going to tell you now. I want to tell you and all the whole listening audience what I think an effective and an efficient teacher is. I think that's that teacher that comes into the classroom that's willing to share the knowledge that they have with the student. Now, if I've had a bad day as a student, if I've had a bad day and I come in there and I really don't feel like learning, an effective teacher is that teacher that is presenting the information there to me. I can think back on teachers like Brother Doolin. I can't remember Doolin's first name, but Doolin was a chemistry teacher. Looked like that class was after lunch. I never could come in that class and stay awake, So Doolin figured out a way to make the class exciting. Right after lunch, he'd make an explosion or have some kind of different thing that would happen, get my attention. But then that's one effective teacher. That's one efficient teacher that I can think of. I also know some other teachers that have different little gimmicks. There was one instructor that I knew that carried a ruler with her. You could nod off in her class if you wanted to, but you get caught with that ruler. But then I know some other teachers that when you want to learn, you pay attention. And when a teacher wants to teach, that makes the class that much better. And fortunately, right now, I'm fortunate enough to have a teacher that an instructor. I can't call him a teacher because he's an instructor. He just gives you the guidelines and then helps you not to make the mistakes. And I think that's what an effective and an efficient teacher is. But as far as that teacher having to go to school again to learn how to teach, I don't understand, Miss Hunter. I don't understand. Please, please.
Well, this is my question. What is effective teaching? What do they want the teacher to do? Then who is to determine that you are an effective teacher? Because if I'm in there teaching, unless you're sitting in there with me all during the period, you do not know if I'm doing a good job, if I'm doing a poor job. And who can evaluate? And then I'm wondering.
Students evaluate. That's who evaluates the results. Like you can look back at the people that you've taught. You can see what they've done in the community. Are your students becoming an effective part? Are they becoming an efficient part of the community? Are they contributing to the community? The knowledge that you share with them, are your students sharing that with the rest of the world? Isn't that the judging factor? Isn't that the bottom line?
Well,
doesn't that go through your mind as teacher?
Well, now that is supposed to be the results of an effective teacher.
Okay.
But now, Calvin, you got to wait until the end of the 9 weeks, the end of the semester, to see what the grade is going to be. But now I'm wondering, then I've heard some teachers say, we have to make out a daily lesson plan. And we got to tell them what we're doing each minute during that day. Now, I can't see how individuals, we are not molds. We are flexible people. And we cannot fit into our mold. You have to have, this mold over here may have to be round for this particular student to fit in. This mold over here has to be square, and this one has to be oblong. Now you're going to fix out a lesson plan for a
square mold,
rectangular or something like that person. Now, what are you going to do for this one that's over here that doesn't fit into that mold? It doesn't fit. How flexible are you going to have these programs? And they tell me when you walk in, if you're supposed to be teaching weather, it doesn't matter if I haven't learned rain, you just have to forget me and go on teach weather. So this is what I'm talking about. Just how effective are we accomplishing the goals that we are sending these teachers to study to be?
Well, I'm sure glad of this.
I want to know how functional it is.
I'm sure glad that Dr. A.L. Dowell had a good instructor. Wherever he went to school at, whatever they taught him, Dr. Dowell is my optometrist, and they taught him well. I can sit back now and relax and read and just have a good time because from the words that I'm able to see more clearly, thanks to Dr. Dowell, and that has helped a lot. He and a lot of other teachers. Now, even though Dr. Dowell is not a teacher, but then he had to take the time to learn his trade.
But that's true. So I'm sure probably when he was in the classroom, they had a chance to make comparisons of likeness and differences. Because if everybody's going to be taught according to this block that you're going to fix out every day, then we never would have had a Dr. Dowell.
Well, Dr. Dowell, I'm sure glad you went wherever you went. I know that Miss Tompkins was one of the greatest speech teachers ever in this state of Oklahoma. She was a great, fantastic lady. She had a definite influence with Dr. Dowell. Matter of fact, he married her daughter. So, Dr. Dowell is I know he's listening. I know he's aware of a lot of good things that teachers have done and a lot of good things that I think the 1986, 85, 87 teachers are trying to do and want to do. But when I speak of Dr. Dowell, I want to remind all of you that you have any need for your eye services, any type of eye care, check with him. Dr. A.L. Dowell, he's located at 934 Northeast 8th Street. You can call him for an appointment or you can just go by, but you can call for an appointment by calling. I use that pencil and paper I tell you to keep handy. That number for Dr. Dowell is 427-5271. Best doctor in Oklahoma. I guarantee you. Miss Hunter, let's take a little break here and let's give the people out there an opportunity to sit back, relax, and to wonder really if their kids are being taught efficiently or effectively. Let us
And are
see
they
how they
getting
doing.
and are they getting clarifying thoughts and ideas and provoking thoughts? Are we giving them a chance to relate feelings to behaviors? Where in this schedule that you are fixing out, that you're teaching day by day, do you allow these things?
Well, Miss Hunter, if I was in woodwork and somebody was trying to tell me that I need to have my feelings and my behavior corrected, I think that I'd have a good argument as a student. And then if I was a parent of a student that was taking woodwork and he come in and say, well, today, instead of sawing wood or learning how to nail wood, we talked about our feelings and our behavior.
Well, you sure better, because if you didn't have some of those clarifying facts, you'd haul off and hit at a nail and hit your thumb.
Oh, well, we can't handle that. Can't handle no carpenter that don't know where the nail head
That's
is.
right. So
Say, but I want you to sit back, relax, call that good friend, go in there and fix you a good sandwich, use rainbow bread, and get you a good meat from Burger Brothers. But we'll tell you a little more about Burger Brothers, a lot more about rainbow bread. So sit back, relax, enjoy our good friend Teddy Pendergrass while he sings out a very special song to a very special someone. They're just having a great time out here on the Clara Luper Radio Show.
Really,
But the reason why, I better hold that, Miss Hunt. I'm going to hold it because I know that one stop does it all. I know that you've passed by 4900 North Martin Luther King Boulevard. You've seen that big, beautiful sign that says Enterprise Square Place. Say one stop does it all. There's a tag agency there. There's a United States Post Office. There's Sherry's Cleaners. There's a laundromat. There's a laundry. All of that is there for your convenience. 4900 North Martin Luther King Avenue, right off 50th and Martin Luther King, 50th and Eastern, across the street from the zoo. No matter what, if you get in that area, you'll see that sign. But when you go by there, now remember, if you have any bills you need to pay, you need some money orders, you got some dirty clothes, you need to have all that taken care of, go by that Enterprise Square Place. Miss McLaughlin, all of them there will make sure that you get the very best service that is available. Say you can come all the way from the south side of town, come over there and guarantee that we got the fastest post office at Enterprise Square. You don't, no long lines or nothing. We take care of plenty of business there, and everybody's happy. We do a good job. So, Ace reporter Clara Luper from the Ace host Clara Luper. I was expecting a call, and she said, "Well, Calvin, I'll call you between 2 and 2:30. If not, I'll call you between 5:15 and 6:15." So any minute, I look forward to getting a hands-on, a live report from Enid, Oklahoma, from the state NAACP convention. The NAACP has done so much for so many of us, and it's so easy for a lot of people now in 1986 to forget the struggles, the trials, and the tribulations that we've gone through as people, as black people, as white people, as Indians. But thanks to the NAACP, it's become a much better place to live here in the United States. Oklahoma is a lot better because of the NAACP. And the state convention, generally out of there, we come out with some fantastic things that are going to help us all be better people. I'm talking particularly about employment. I'm talking definitely about education. I'm talking also about job opportunities. I'm talking about investment opportunities. NAACP takes care of it all. National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is the name of the organization, but then it isn't limited just to black or white or red. It's open to all Americans. If you want to help make America a better place, make sure that you get your NAACP membership, and you can get it by contacting any member of the NAACP, or particularly Clara Luper or Cecil Williams or Letty Ruth Hunter or yours truly Calvin Luper, or even better still, you can go by the Freedom Center. They're at 2609 North Martin Luther King Avenue, right here in Oklahoma City. Freedom Center is not too far from a great supporter of the NAACP. I'm talking about Mac, Big Mac, down in McCurson's drugstore. Not only is McCurson a licensed pharmacist, not only did he take the time out to go to school and to be taught by some of the best teachers, but he learned to read and to write and to add and to know and understand what different doctors may write down and to make sure that his customers, that you, the patient, that you, his customer, will get the very best service. McCurson took the time out and went to school. He learned his lesson. Whether his teachers were effective or efficient, graded, we can't say that, but we can look at the result of the influences that they had on his life. So I would give all of McCurson's down in McCurson's drugstore teachers, I give them an A for effectiveness. I give them an A for efficiency because they taught him one thing, that he had to give good service. He had to be full of integrity. And then his experience factors since then, that makes McCurson's drugstore the place where I go to for all my drugstore needs. I suggest that you go there too. He's open every day at 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., even on Sundays from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. He has a 10% discount for senior citizens, and even more important than that, he has free prescription delivery, Ms. Hunter. This young man has taken the time. He spent 12 years in school making certain that he would know and be aware of any new changes, anything that's going on. You go down there and Mac is reading a good book. He's reading it. He wears glasses. I wonder if Dr. Dowles is an optometrist, but I'm pretty certain it is. But even if it isn't, McCurson's drugstore, he's experienced. He's gives you great service. If you're a senior citizen, you will appreciate a 10% discount. If you'd appreciate free delivery, call McCurson's drugstore. That number is 427-3092. And like I say, he's open every day, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then on Sundays, he's open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Now, can you beat that for service? Can you beat that for concern? Can you beat that for being a good student in class and learning his lessons well? Thank you, Mac. Say, I know you're having a good time down there. OU's winning, and McCurson's drugstore is the place to go. If your doctor tell you to go get your prescription filled, and he said, well, go downstairs to my pharmacy, you tell him, no, man, I'm going to McCurson's. I'm going to Mac where I can get the best deal, and I know it's going to be effective, efficient, and economical. And that's a big thing now because, see, we have to work together. Isn't that right?
That is right, Calvin. And I want to invite each person to come out on Monday night. Each Monday night, we do have an NAACP youth meeting, and the address is 2609 Martin Luther King, and our president is Derek Pratt. He'd be so very, very happy to see you, and if you need a ride, if you would call us in time, we'd be happy to provide you with that because we're interested in developing young people and youth. I'm just so very happy that we had several youth. I know we had something like 8 or 10 youth to go to the state meeting in Enid, Oklahoma today. I hope Mrs. Luper's not flooded out up there. Is why she has not called us. But because they are having quite a bit of rain, I understand, and they have had some water up there also in Enid.
It's a funny thing about the NAACP. I think those members of the NAACP that participate actively in the youth council activities make a better student. The experiences that you gain from the youth council, the experiences that you gain from the traveling that the youth council does, I think this adds to your education. And Ms. Hunter, we were talking about the teachers and the tough job that they already have, and now it seems like what you're saying is somebody is giving them another 200 pages of material that they must learn, that they must go through to more effectively teach our kids and try to make a better person out of them. I figure that if a guy's gone to school for 5-6 years, got his master's degree, and he's prepared to teach. I know a young man now that is working on his doctorate degree, and he's still in Oklahoma City public school system. I say still because of the fact that the money is elsewhere. The amount of money that a teacher gets paid is an insult to all of us who pay our taxes. The firemen get paid more. The policeman that might knock you on the head gets paid more than a teacher that's trying to put something in your head. And then to tell them that they need to go to school another extra day out of the week. They spend their days babysitting at times, teaching at other times. Have they come up with a way yet where the teachers will be able to whoop the students again? I remember when I was a school student, I messed up in the classroom. It wasn't no go to the office. They say, come back here and meet my rubber hose, Lupe, and they meant it. And that kind of make you learn, It wasn't no long walk to the closet. It was just a short walk. But then you've been out of the system a while, but then I know it's a part of you. I know that you, everywhere you go, you're quite concerned about the educational needs that exist in America, particularly here in Oklahoma. Miss Hunter, what are we going to do? How can we help our teachers?
Calvin, this is a big question. What can we do to help our teachers? But I do believe in keeping up with technology. I feel each person that is in any profession should keep up with technology, because technology is changing things. It's making things happen, and it's making things happen so fast that if we're going to sit idle by in our classrooms and not go and see what is new and what is happening and what technology is doing for our society, then we are a lost cause. Now, I do believe that we should keep up with technology. Now, if these classes or these courses or this class that they're attending is giving them something about the technology of education, because there is a lot of technology that's going on, so that they can go back and impart this to their students, then I feel that they have not gone in vain.
Well, Miss Hunter, you're right. Keeping up with technology is important. But then, teaching kids to read, it takes a lot of patience to go in that classroom and there's a 7, 8-year-old kid that doesn't know if from it, thee from them. That takes a lot of patience.
And it takes a lot of time, Calvin. That was just what I was trying to point out to you when I told you that we have all kinds of forms. We got a round, square, and oblong. It takes a lot of time because the round person may learn it in 2 seconds. The next person in square may take him 2 days, and the next person might take him 2 weeks. So you must have a flexible program. And to me, I don't see how you can expect to walk in a classroom and the teacher is teaching at this point, and here you have somebody, because everyone learned at a different level. And here you're teaching this regardless to the forms that you have here in this classroom. And most of the teachers have from 20 to 25 of those shapes, some way or the other.
In their
so
classroom,
they must have a lot of flexibility, right, all day long. Some flexibility in the schedule. And if I'm not on page 10 and I'm on page 6, I don't think that I should be marked down because I'm not on page 10.
Who would
because
mark you down, Miss Hunter? Would the students mark you down?
But they tell me this program that you fill out, this a daily agenda, if you say you're on page 10, when your supervisor comes around, you better be on page 10 and not on page 4. Now, this is what I'm being told. So this is why I tell you I'm confused and I'm asking questions. What are we doing? Are we really teaching individuals? Are we teaching human beings? Or are we just teaching? This is my question.
Well,
if we're teaching individuals, if we're teaching human beings, all of these things are going to be flexible.
Well,
and
Ms. Hunter, you're bringing some questions in my mind. Are you saying that now the teachers don't have that opportunity to give that slow learner like myself? It took me about 2 years to figure out some algebra formulas that Miss Temple at Douglas High School, I don't know how many times she told me the same solution, but I had a difficult time finding that out,
But
I wonder now if they would make me a slow student.
This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't make you a slow student. It only tells you human beings are different. We are individuals, and no one learns at the same rate of speed or the same rate of time. Takes some longer to learn than others. Just as you watch a baby growing up. Some babies talk early, some babies talk late.
But they all cry.
And they all cry.
Yeah.
But they are individuals. and they will all cry about different things. They're not going to cry about the same thing.
Well, Miss Hunter, you have a point. Somehow or other, I bet you before this show is over, and I want you to sit back, relax, and call a friend and make sure that they're part of today's show. We're out here at KBYE. We're having a great time. 890 on your radio dial. Call your friend, call your neighbor. Let them know that the Clara Luper radio show is on. Say, if you're wondering what to do for lunches, if you're wondering what to do for dinner tomorrow, you don't have that special food that you want, go by Burger Brothers, 412 South Harvey. Every day great low prices. Every day low prices. Burger Brothers, 412 South Harvey. This week they're having a special.
What is that special, Calvin?
That
Because I do not
special
have
is just
anything for
about
dinner.
anything. You haven't had anything for dinner?
I
Miss
do
Hunter?
not have anything for dinner tomorrow, you said.
For tomorrow. Now,
Right.
down there they got a special on steaks. They got a special on roast. They got a special on the chickens. Special on the hamburgers. And then they got that good rainbow bread there. You got fresh veggies that just coming off the truck. Burger Brothers takes care of you because one thing about it, they went to school. They learned how to read. They learned how to add. They learned how to make sure that their customers, us, would have the very best in the food products. I suggest to all of you, especially you, Miss Hunter, coming back from Hawaii, they might even have some pineapples down there. Fresh
Well, I
from
sure
Hawaii.
have some at my house if you
brought
do
some
not.
back. But
I
Burger
brought
Brothers
some back.
probably got some down there. If they don't have none, you tell them that you heard about it on the Clara Luper radio show and you want a pineapple from Hawaii. But Burger Brothers is located at 412 South Harvey. You can call down there to find out really what is happening today because they may have an extra special. And that number, now use that pen and pencil I told you about earlier, but that number is 232-7511. That's Burger Brothers. And Miss Hunter has her pineapples. I have my rainbow bread. And I know that the people out at Watkins Stevens Skyview Convalescent Home, they have their radio on and they're listening. They're wondering how their kids, their grandkids, and how they're doing in school. But then we know one thing, if they go by Burger Brothers, they're going to be healthy, they're going to be wealthy, and then they're going to save a little bit of money. Save. My good friend Teddy Pendergrass is sitting back over there. He's just wanting to play a couple of minutes. And he got something special that I know you're going to love to hear. So sit back, relax, call that friend. And Teddy,